everyone, it's Sulamita. So today I'll be showing you how to build a contacts list app in HTML and CSS, and I'll show you the demo here in a second. But first I just wanted to ahead of time mention that the mic does make a few annoying sounds towards the middle endish of the video. It got caught in my shirt or something and I tried to fix it in post-production, but I wasn't able to, so sorry in advance. And a second thing is that the zoom in the beginning was kind of off, so I tried to fix it also in post-production, and it is a little bit closer, but you can't see the entire screen, and I try to show as much as I can, but the other part of the video was well zoomed in and everything. So anyways, besides that, I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial and have fun with it. Hey everyone, so we will be building out this contact list app. You can click on each contact. It will take us to a profile page. Then we can click edit, adjust all of these options, and in theory you'll be able to save it and delete, but right now we're just building an HTML and CSS, so that will be in a later tutorial. But if you click delete, it'll take you to an approval for deleting, and you can go all the way back and you can add and search. So you'll be able to add a new contact and it'll take you to this edit page. So let's get started on the first home page right here, and we are first going to build out the search bar, and then we're going to build out this whole library section over here. So I have my Sublime text editor open and it's a new folder. So what we're going to do is open up an HTML file. We're going to click new file, then we're going to do save as, and make sure it's in the correct folder, your new folder. So I will go here and select HTML, and I'm going to name it make sure that's a period, index.html. Hit save. So if you type in HTML and hit enter, it should give you a boilerplate of all the HTML tags. So what we're going to name this one is contact list app. And in the body, we are going to create a container around the entire library. So since we're going to be building it in mobile only, we're going to create a container around this entire area so that we can set a max width and have the background color this dark gray. So let's get started with that. We're going to do div class container. Make sure we add the closing tags. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't do it right away, but then we're going to create a header tag because this will be our header. So we just created a div around this entire section, and now we're working on the header part right here. So let's give this header a class of header. The keyboard is kind of lagging, it's kind of weird, but okay, now we're going to create the form, the search form. So within this search form, we type in form. Wow, this keyboard is kind of difficult to get used to. So search bar is what we're going to name it. Then we need to put in the input text section. So this will be called search name. Then we are going to give it a class of contact dash search, and we're going to give the name of search area, and we're going to give it the placeholder text of search. So this means that we will be able to see what it says. So let's check it out. So here we have the search bar. This was the placeholder text, and this is the input area, the square that you see around it. So now let's go in and add that plus icon. So within the header, we are going to add the icon, which is, we need to go into Font Awesome. Where is it? Right here. We copy the kit right here that we need in our HTML tag, so you could just find this under your profile when you log in. So we add it in here, just paste it, save it, and now we can search the icon that we want. So I want an add button. Okay, so you can choose whatever style you guys like. I'm just going to go with a more simple style. Now all we have to do is go over here, click on it and it copies it, and then we just put it where we want it. So I want it underneath the form, and hit paste. So let's give it a class, add a second class to it, and name it add, save. Now let's see if it came up. Here we go. Yeah, awesome. So now let's move on to the next section. So after header, let's create the section for the library itself, for the contacts. So for this, we will name it the class contacts library. So now as we're building out the contacts library, I am using a UL and LI tags because I just feel like it's more organized, but you can use divs if you want, and then we will be creating a div around every single section here. So let's go and create the UL tags. So we will name this contacts list dash list. Make sure that we close it out, and now we will create a div around every single LI. So let's give this div the class of contact section. Close it out. Oops. And now we can go into the LI tags. So this one, we will give it the class of list item. So I have to go back here, class list item. And in here we are going to put in the name and the relationship. So let's just use a p tag. You can use an h3 or maybe something like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a p class and give it the class of contact name. And I'm just going to put in a vanilla name like John Doe. And then for the next p tag, we're going to give it the class of relationship. And we're just going to type in friend. Okay, now moving on to the next section where we will have the phone icon and the text icon. We will also use the same class here of list item. List item, there we go. And in here we're just going to find the two icons of the phone and the text. So let's get the phone icon first. Awesome, always seems to take a while to load. So we're going to get this one right here, even though nobody really uses phones like this anymore, but everyone uses this icon. So we're just going to copy it. So we're just going to paste it in here, and then we are going to get the text icon. Oops, text. And I'm going to just find the one that says SMS on it that looks like this. I just seem to like that one better. So we're just going to scroll down and grab it right here. I think it's one of the free ones. So we're going to copy it and paste it into here. And I'm going to give it the class of text. Just add it in there. Okay, cool. So let's bring this together so we can see that it's separate. And now we're going to separate them with an HR tag, which is that line divider. So all we have to do is copy paste this several times, and we'll just change the names within there. So I'm just going to do it like maybe 5 times or something. I think that's good. And now all we have to do is change the name of it if you want to. So I'll leave this actual name, I'll just change like the relationship ones just for fun. So I'll just do family and work. And yeah, just leave it like that. Let's see what it looks like now. There we go. So now we can actually go in and style this, which is the fun part. So let's create a new file and let's save it as a CSS file. So I have to go in here for file type, click CSS and type in style.css, and then we have to go in here and make sure that we link it. So we'll type in link, hit enter, and type in the name of what we saved it as, which is style.css. So now that we're here, let's set the body tag to, let's get the font family in here. So we need to actually go into Google Fonts and get the font family that we like. So I want to use the Inter font. So you just go to fonts.google.com, and the font I'm going to use is called Inter. It's the first one over here on the left. And I'm just going to get the regular 400, select the style, copy this, and we need to add it to our HTML link or page. So we're just going to paste that. I'm going to make it look nice and clean, save it. And so what it shows us here is to use this when we type in the font family. So you could just type it in, but I'll just copy paste it. So it's, okay, it doesn't want to copy. It's Inter and then sans serif. So let's go in and paste that, save it. So now we're going to set the margin to 0, and then we're going to get the container. So this is where we wrapped the entire page in. So for the container, we will, since it's a class, it starts with the period. So we do container and then max width, which is apparently the biggest font size is 428 pixels. I mean, that's a popular font, I guess. I'm not sure if there's ones bigger, but then margin is 0 auto so that it centers it. We're going to give it the background color of, I think you could just type in background, but just in case to be safe, background color of hashtag 313438. Close that, and then we're going to give it the height of 100 viewport height. So let's see what that did. There we go. Now it looks like a phone basically, and we gave it the background, and now we're going to style this search section right here to make it look like this. So let's go back in here. So let's work on the header section. We're going to do display flex so that the search bar and the icon are next to each other rather than on top of each other. So we're going to do justify content space evenly. Space evenly. I don't know why it's not all purple, but it works. So then we're going to go to color, FFF, which is white, and we're going to do the background, this gradient. So let's go in and go to this. So you can get this in the link below, by the way, to cssgradient.io. And I already have it set up from greenish blue to like a lime green. You can choose whatever gradient you like. I just feel like this looks better on a dark gray. So I grabbed that and I'm going to paste it. I don't need this part. I'm just going to use the background and hit tab, save it. And then I'm going to give it a padding of 2em, which is the top and bottom, and then 0 on the left and right. And then I'm going to align the items to the center. So let's see what that looks like. There we go. So looks pretty decent. Now I'm going to exit out of this. So now we will continue to the search bar now and make it look nice. So we're going to get the contact search class that we set, and we're going to set the font size to 1.2em, then the padding to 3em, no, 0.3em, and then we're going to do border radius 100 pixels. I just like them more round, but you can go for the square if you like. And then we're going to set the border to 1 pixel, solid, and FFF. And let's look at it really quick. There we go, a lot better. And when you click on it, you get this ugly outline. I really don't like that. So we're going to do outline and set that to none. Save it, hit refresh, and now we don't get that ugly outline. Perfect. So next we are going to work on the rest of the section over here, and then we'll work on the icons later. So I realized I was zoomed out a little too much, so I fixed that right here, and for the previous one I'll try to fix that in post-production. But I also wanted to replace the color here and put it into body, since all of the text is going to be white, so that way the code is just a lot cleaner. And now we're going to continue on to not to contact search, we already did that. So now we're going to edit the icons, and to make them bigger, all we have to do is font size. Font size, hit enter, and we're going to change it to 1.5 em. And then for the contact name, we want the paragraph tag to be a little bit bigger for the contact name, and I'm going to change it to 1.2 em, so it's just slightly bigger. Now to style the UL tag, because of the bullet points that it has, we don't want that there, but it leaves the margin and padding, so we're going to take out the margin and padding. So we're going to do 0, and then padding 0, padding 0, and then width 100%. Moving on to styling the HR tag, which is that horizontal line separator. We're going to give it the border of 1 pixel solid, and the color is going to be 494A4B. And another quick update I wanted to do was to switch out the 100 viewport height from container and paste it into the body instead. I'm not sure why, I thought it would be better in the container. So now we saved all of that, and I already refreshed it. This is what it should look like, and when you scroll it should be all good there. So now we're going to be working on styling these divs and making it flex so that it's side by side right here. So let's go in and get started on that. So we're first going to start with list item, and we're going to do list style none because we want to get rid of those bullet points. Then we're going to go on to the relationship tag and create that funky looking border. So we're going to do width 6em. We're going to say text align center, padding just a regular padding, 0.4 em and 0.5 em. Okay, now we're going to say border radius 100 pixels, and so this is like an interesting thing that I didn't know, but this is how you make that cool little teardrop looking effect for the border. You do border top left radius and 0, that way it stays as a sharp edge. And we're going to make the background color a hashtag 75A85E. And then we're just going to change the font size to 0.8 em because I don't want it to be that much bigger compared to the title. So there we go. This is how it looks, and I made it a little bit extra longer in case you want to type in something like coworker or something like that. And okay, let's continue with the styling now. Next, we're going to grab the class of contact section so that we can work on each div, and we're going to say display flex, justify content, space between, align items center, center, padding, no, we just want padding in general, so we're going to do 0 for the top and bottom and 1.5 em for the left and right. And the last thing we want to do is add a transition so that when we hover, it's not too quick, so we're going to do 0.3 seconds and save that. And let's just add the hover effect really quickly. So we're going to do contact dash section and colon, then we're going to say hover. And I just wanted to change the background color, so I want it to be a lighter shade of gray. So I'm going to type in 48494A. That should be it. So let's save it and refresh it. So see how everything shifted over to the side. Saying align item center made it like this instead of sticking to the top. And then we're going to add padding here to separate the two. So, and the transition hover effect worked also. So now all we have to do is for the text, the icon for the text, we're just going to do padding left, and we're going to say 1em. And that should separate it for us. Yep, there we go. So it has a good space in between. So now we want to add links to all of this so that when they click this, it'll link to the new HTML page. For now, we're going to add a placeholder link. And I just want to wrap everything into a link first though. So perfect, it's looking pretty good. The only thing is the HR tag is not looking the same. So let's see what we did here for the HR. Maybe we can do 2 pixels. So we could change the border to white, but I actually kind of like this edit better. I'd rather leave it to the gray, so I'm going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead and wrap a link around every single button. So let's start with this add button. So I realize we don't actually need this class, so we're just going to do that, and let's put a link around it. So let's do a put in the placeholder text for now. Oops. We're going to copy that, delete it, and then we're going to close it at the end over here. So let's save that, and then I want to add a link around every single div so that they can click anywhere on the contact and be able to go to the correct page. So here we are going to add a link. We're going to do an A tag. Let's just put placeholder text here for now since we didn't create the page yet. Copy it and add it to the bottom of the div. And then we want to grab this and hit tab so that it looks all neat. So now we're just going to continue this for every single div. I'll just fast forward this part so that you don't have to watch it through because it's kind of boring, or if you want to watch it through while it's fast forwarded, you can just make it slow motion or whatever. Okay, now that we're done, let's go into the style sheet, and for the A tag we're going to say text decoration none, and we're going to set the color to white, so hashtag FFF. And did we add it around the button? No, we didn't. So let's, oh yes we did. Okay, perfect. So let's save that, and also really quick, let's change the height to min height, and let's put it back into the container. Okay, now let's look at it. Okay, cool, so there we go. So the next page is going to be that when we click on this, it will lead us to a contact profile. So let's work on that right now, and then we will link it to these buttons here so that it can work. Okay, so let's create a new file, a new HTML file. Let's click Save As, and let's call it contact-profile.html and hit save. Perfect. So let's do the boilerplate thing again. And we can just copy paste all of this into here so that we don't have to repeat it. Just saves us time, and we will change this style sheet link later. So let's call this one contact profile page. So again, with this one, we are going to create the same container, which is going to be a div, and we're going to give it the same class as the first one, and we're going to repeat this through the entire website. So we're going to do div class container, and we're going to start right away with the hero section, which is this part right here. So first we're going to build out we're going to work from top left and all the way down. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to add this. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to start with a header, and we're going to give it the class of hero, and class hero, hit enter, and we're going to, let's just wrap it in a link right away so that we don't have to go back and do that. Since the back button will go to the index page, we're just going to call it index.html so that it goes there right away. And let's look for the back button icon. So let's no, I don't think that will work. We'll probably have to say arrow, back arrow. Oh, maybe it is going to work. Here we go. Let's use this one. So we're going to copy it and paste it into here. And we can say, we just give it a class of back button just in case, and then if we don't need it, we'll just take it out. So then we're going to create a div around the hero information. So we're going to call it hero info. And I'm going to use an h1 tag since we want the name to be pretty big. And we're going to give it the class of name. And I'm just going to type in John Doe. And then here we're going to add that relationship icon. So we're going to give it the class of relationship since it's going to be the same tag. And we're just going to copy paste that into the CSS. Oh, it's going to be friend. So now let's move on to the main information. So we'll create this section and give it a class of contact info. So this part that we're building right now is going to be the entire area right here. So we're going to be building these Neomorphic buttons right now. And again, you don't have to go for the style. I just thought it was fun. But let's start building it. So we're going to give it a div class of info line. You can name these whatever you want. I'm just going to go with these names. And we're going to use that same phone icon right here. So let's just grab it from here, copy it, and paste it in. And then we're going to do a p tag, paragraph tag, and we're going to give it a class of phone number so that you can see the number. And I'm just going to give it filler text, so just repeat some random number. And then what we're going to do is grab this and copy paste it for all of them. And how many lines are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, one more time. And then we just have to change out this information and get the different icons and the text in here. So we have the phone one. Now all we have to do is get the text, email, and location. So we have the text one also actually. So let's go in here and grab the text icon. Let's paste it in right here, paste, save it, and we will name this one SMS. And then we'll just type in send a message. So they have the option of texting. Hit save. And now let's find one for, this is going to be email, and then we have the address. So let's just name it that right now so that we know what it is. So I'm going to name this one email, and then this one is going to be address, and we can just type in a fake address here, add example street, and then over here for the email I'm going to say john.doe@example.com. Okay, cool. Saving it, and now we just have to go find the email icon. So we're going to type in email, and normally it's just like an envelope icon, or you can do the @ symbol, but I kind of think those can get confused with like a website. So I'm just going to select this one. Again, we're just going to grab it and paste it in right here. And then for the address, I'm going to type in location. And I kind of like that pinpoint one. I was thinking a house one would be good too, but I feel like this one's just more simple. Where is it? Here it is. Let's copy that and paste it, replace it with the phone one, and save that. So next we have to add the edit button. So I'm going to add a link around it right away. Just put in that text because we're not working on the edit page yet, and we're going to make it a section and give it the class of edit contact. So it's going to be that settings button basically, and we're going to give it a div, and we're going to call that edit button, and then oops, hit enter. And over here we're going to get the icon of like a settings tool. Right here. That one might be worked too, but I don't really like that it doesn't look as clean, so I'm just going to use this one and paste it in, and there we go. That should work. So let's give it a look. Okay, awesome. Now we have to connect it with the link. So right now it's connecting with the other style sheet, but when we connect it to the new CSS, we'll show you how to do that. So let's create a new file, and we're going to name this one, well, let's save it first. So we're going to do save as, and it's going to be style-profile.css. So let's save that, and we basically can just copy paste most of this. So we're going to get the body, the container, the header. We don't need the contact search, so we're just going to grab that, paste it in here, save it. Let's see how it looks. Oh, I forgot, we have to connect the link. I always forget that part. So we're going to do style-profile, save it, and let's see how it looks. Oh, we named ours hero, that's why. So name that hero. There we go. So now we have to work on this section right here, and I'm going to also copy paste the other parts over here, like the icons and contact name. We didn't use a UL, so I'm just going to paste it in here. Let's save it. I don't know if we needed it for contact name. No, we don't need that, so let's just save it like this. Yeah, that didn't change anything, so. What else do we have that's repetitive? The relationship and the a link. So let's grab that, and we just need to grab this now, and that should work. So let's do that. Okay, perfect. So now let's work on this hero section over here. So in here, I'm also going to add this, it just helps it look cleaner. We just type in the asterisks, do it like that, 2 colons, type in before, and the same thing again and after, and we're going to say box sizing border box. We're going to save it, and in the hero over here we're going to take most of this out. We don't need to do the display flex evenly or anything. We're just going to take that out. All we need is the background and the padding, so we're going to clean that up a bit, and there we go. So then we just have to move this stuff over here, which is going to be part of that div. So let's work on the back button first, back-btn, and we're going to change the font size of it to 1.7M because it's a little bit too small, and then we're going to give the padding left of 1M because it's a little bit too close to the edge there and it doesn't look too good. We don't want it to be touching the side like that. So there we go, that looks a lot better. And now let's move this all over to the center. So next we're going to work on the hero info. We're going to grab this and we're going to say display flex flow column, and we're going to align the items to the center. Let's look at it. It's going to move over. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to work on this section right here. So that is, let's go over here. That's going to be the class of contact info. Whoops. Let's delete this part. And the contact info, where we got that from, is right here. It's going to be this entire section. So we're going to be working on basically the container of the contact information. And all we're going to do is give it a padding on the top and bottom and the sides. So we're going to give it a padding of 3M and 1.5M. Whoops. 1.5M. Let's save it. There we go. So what we're going to do now is work on creating these buttons, and what we named that class is info line. So let's get that class dot info dash line. Scroll down a little bit, give us some space. We're going to write display flex, width of 90%, margin 0 auto so that the buttons are centered. We're going to align items to the center. Give it a padding of 1M and 2M. Give them margin top so that they have space in between of 2M. Border radius of 20 pixels. And then we're going to go into neomorphism.io and get this neomorphic button type style. So I put in our original background color in here, 313438, and then I just adjusted this to the way that I like it. So I'm going to copy it right here and paste it in under here. So I'm going to take out the background because we already have the background color set, just less code. I'm going to indent this. There we go, save it, and let's see how it turned out. There we go. So now we have our buttons. You can make it more intense if you want. I'm just going to leave it like this. And now let's style the rest of the button here. So let's move on to the paragraph tag. Let's give it a margin of 0 and padding left of 2M. So this is going to separate the words from the icons because they are a little bit too close together here. So let's refresh it. There we go, we have a good amount of space there. Now let's move on to creating the icon gradient. So we're going to get the class icon gradient. So we're going to copy the same gradient that we have in here. We're just going to do this in the header, the green, so that it stays consistent, and paste it in here. If you guys have watched my video on design tips, I talk about a good UX has the same consistency on every page. So try sticking with that. So then we're going to move on to border radius of 100 pixels because I want the icons to be completely circular. And then we're going to give it a padding of 0.5 em. So I realized we forgot to add this class to our HTML, so let's go ahead and add it into every icon. So we're going to do icon dash gradient, and let's just copy it and paste it into each each line of the I tags. So let's go in here and just paste it everywhere, including the edit button, because we also wanted to have that same round gradient effect. So let's save that and let's see if it worked. Okay, perfect. So I put an ID here, or we're going to put an ID here because it's not perfectly round. I'm not sure why. It might be the size of the icon or something. So we're gonna have to style that also. Let's see, did I put it in here already? No, I didn't. So let's add the class in here, and let's add the ID in here actually, since we're not going to use it anymore. We're just going to use it once, so I'm going to name it location. Save it. Okay, so now all we have to do is select the location and give it a custom padding of 0.5 em and 6.6 em, because it seems like the left and right sides are a little bit too long. So there we go. Now it's a perfect circle. Okay, now we just have to edit this last part right here. So let's go in and get the tag of edit dash contact, and all we have to do is give it a padding of 2.5 em and 3.5 em. And then we just want to say text align center. Oops, text align center. There we go. No, okay, now let's refresh it. And there we go. Now we have this functional page. So let's see if this button works. Okay, perfect. So now all we have to do, oh, we forgot to. Okay, so let's go in and add the link into each of these so that it actually leads us to the profile page. So let's go in here into index.html, and so we have the links here. Perfect. So let's just type in contact dash profile.html. So whatever you named it, it should be right here. Just type the name of this file in here and it should work. So I'm going to copy it. So I'm just going to repeat this, and I'll probably just fast forward this part so that you don't have to waste your time, but here we go. Oh, I forgot to add the closing tag. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it works. So I accidentally had a closing tag at the end of the button. So okay, now that works. That goes back. So then we're gonna when we do create the edit profile page, which is what we're working on next, we will go back and link this. So and it will also link here too. So the edit page looks like this. Now we're going to create a reverse meaning it's still neumorphic, but the button actually looks like it's pressed in, so that they have the idea of typing in there, and then creating these buttons also. So this whole section is pretty much copy pasted, besides some minor changes and adding in these extra buttons over here. So we're going to create a new file and save it as edit.html. Hit save. Let's get the boilerplate HTML tags and call this one edit contact. Now let's just copy paste the rest of this information here since we keep using it. Control copy, and paste it in here, hit save. And then in the body, we're also going to paste most of this information. So let's get all of this. Not the button section, we'll just get it to the end of these buttons here. So let's change all of this information first. So we're going to leave the header section the same because we still need the back button and we still need the name of the information. So all we're going to do here is just replace this part with an input so that they can actually type in the information. So we're going to do input type text. Then we're going to do class is type. Name is full name. And placeholder is full name. Then we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy it and we're going to paste it into each of these paragraph tags. We're just going to delete the paragraph tag and replace it with this and just change these minor things here. So this next one is going to be relationship. There we go. And we will name this placeholder text also relationship. And now for the email, paste, name this email, and placeholder text email. And you can put a dash there if you want. I don't know if that's the official way to do it or not, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And then in here, it will be address. And let's type in address. And we just need to copy this one more time. Whoops, it's not aligned here. So let's select this and hit tab so that it is aligned and looks neat. There we go. Just going to correct this really quickly. Okay, now all we need to do is just copy one of these again because we need to put in an input for the phone number. So let's go in here and name it phone. And we're going to type in phone number. And we're going to get that icon from here for the phone. So let's get it over here, icon gradient, then I tag. Let's go into edit HTML and replace it right here. There we go. Perfect. So now we're going to move on to the button container. So we're going to make two container sections and they're going to be their own buttons. So it's going to be the save and the edit. So we're going to name it button dash container. And we're going to do this twice. So I'm just going to paste it one more time. And now in here, we're going to create a link around it. So it's going to be an A tag. We're going to put a placeholder link there for the save button because that will be completed in the next tutorial. So now we're going to create a div and give it a class of update contact. And now we just have to get the icon of save. So I'm going to look up check mark because when I looked up save, I couldn't really find anything that I liked. But if you like them, you can just look up the save button. But I'm going to go with, which one do I like? And just look up check. Okay, there we go. Now we're just going to copy this and paste it into this section here. There we go. Make sure we close that div before I forget. And now we're going to create a button. So we're going to do button and let's type in class of button. So save contact. So let's copy all of this and paste it into this area here. This one is going to be delete contact. And then we just need to update this to a trash icon. So let's just look up trash. Or you can look up delete, but I feel like this kind of makes sense too. So I'm going to pick this simple one and try to choose icons that all match each other throughout the page. Also, this creates a better theme and UI. So I'm just going to stick to these simple styles. So there we go. So now let's look at it under the edit page. There we go. So now we just have to style it, and when we create the CSS file, we're going to have to copy paste all of that also in here. So this is going to go away for a bit before we connect it, but and then we have to add these into the CSS also. So we're going to create a new file and save it as, let's create it so that it's consistent. I'm going to do style-edit.css. Okay, so I'm going to go into the style profile and copy all of this. And let's paste it into here. And let's save that, and then let's go into edit.html and change the links to style-edit and save that. So this is in so that these two links connect now. And we just take out the edit contact section because we don't need that. So let's save it. Okay, perfect. Everything stayed the same. So now let's continue editing. So all we have to do here now is to edit the type class, which is the input text right here. So let's make it look nicer. So we're going to give it a border of none. Then we're going to give it a background of none so that it doesn't have that white outline. Then all we have to do is give it a padding left of 2em, same as last time, but because this is an input, it didn't save that. So then we're just going to change the font size to 1.2em so that it's a little bit bigger when they add in their new information. We're going to do outline none, same as what we did for the search bar, where it doesn't have that ugly outline square. And then we're going to change the color to white so that when they type, they can actually see it, because right now, if you type, well, the background is white, so that's why. But if we would have done that without changing it to white, then it would have been black and it would have blended into much of the background. So let's update it. There we go. And we have to also change this Neumorphic style to an indented one. So let's go into Neumorphism and click this section right here and just copy this. And let's replace it with this box shadow over here under info line. So we're going to delete the background and border radius multiplied by 2. So we're going to delete all of that and hit save. And it should, there we go, be indented. Perfect. So now we just have to style this last section right here. So let's move on to the button container. So we're going to do button dash container. This in the HTML, we named both of them button container, so it will affect both of them right away. So we're going to give it space by giving it a padding of 2em and 3.5em. Oops, I don't know why I keep doing comma. 3.5em. Save that. Next, we're doing update contact, and we're going to say display flex width 90% because we don't want it to take up the entire screen. Margin 0 auto. Align items center. Padding of 1em for the top and bottom and 2em on the left and right. And then we want to give it, oh, we're going to copy and paste that that border radius that we have, so which is right here. So because it's a clickable button, we want to copy this and make it out like, you know, look like a button instead of an inward button. So then we're going to give it a border radius of 20 pixels again and save that. So let's see if that updated. There we go. And now we just have to style these buttons over here. So we're going to go to the class of button. We're going to say border radius, or we're going to give it the border of none. Then we're going to give it the font size of 1.3 em, padding left of 1.5 em, again so that it's separated. We're going to give the outline none and the color to be #FFF again. There we go. And we also need to add the icon gradient into these the button tags here so that they have that gradient in the background. So let's paste it into these I tags over here in update contact. So let's save that and let's update it. And let's also add a background color of 313438, which should be the same background color as our entire gray area here so that it blends in. So let's do that, and there we go. So now this all looks correct. We just need to link this up. Oh, that was already linked up. So we do that, hit edit. Okay, so let's link up the edit button and the back button. So let's go into the edit in here. Okay, the back button worked. So let's go into the home button, and now we can add the link into the add contact so that they can edit a contact, which we named it edit.html. Let's save that. So now when we refresh it and hit this, it leads us to a new contact profile. So this we're going to say keep as a where it links nowhere, because that's going to be a Django thing or a React and Vue thing. I'm not sure which one. And then we're going to work on this page next. So back button works. So let's go to the profile page and link this here to edit.html. And when we go into edit.html, we want it to link back to not index, but back to contact profile, just in case they just want to, they accidentally clicked edit. So let's save all of those, click save. So click here, perfect. And when they click back, it goes back to the profile rather than the main page. So now let's work on the delete page, which will look like this, which is really simple. Again, we're going to copy paste everything, and then I'm going to delete most of the stuff, and we're just going to add a p tag here. So let's create our last file and save it as delete.html. Let's get the boilerplate tags again. We're going to say delete contact, and let's paste in all of this information. Copy it, hit tab, paste it in here. And again, we're going to grab all of this since it's all the same. Oops, not that part. We just want to grab this and get the contact info section. Let's go to delete HTML, paste it. So we're going to change this to delete container, delete dash container. Make sure we add the closing tag there. We're just going to do a paragraph tag and say, are you sure you want to delete this contact? Question mark. Make sure you spelled that right. Are you sure you want to delete this contact? Perfect. Then we're going to create a div. Actually, let's just copy paste it from the edit section over here. So we're just going to copy paste this area right here in the button container of the edit HTML page and paste it into here. And again, we're going to put in a filler link right here, and we're going to name it, we're going to name this delete contact instead of update contact. And this should be good. And then in here, since we already made the HTML page, we're just going to say delete.html so that it links there right away. So now we have to create a new page again and save it as the CSS file for the delete page. So we're going to call it style-delete.css. So let's go in here and copy all of this. Copy. I'm going to go in here and paste it, and we don't need most of it, so we can get rid of the type location, and I think that's it. Yeah, so let's save that. I think I changed an update here. I saved it as delete container and delete contact, but we don't need to do that. I'm just going to switch it back to button container and update contact since it's the same anyway. So update, so this is button container and update contact. So let's see what that looks like. And there we go. We need to link it to style-delete, hit save, and we need to add some padding with the p tag. We're going to change this to padding bottom to 2M. And that should be it. Okay, perfect. And I think I want to text align it also. So let's do text align center. Save it. There we go. And let's link this. Okay, the back button is already linked. So it should actually link to this section right here, to the edit section. So the delete button works. So let's update this button to the, where is it? Back button. We wanted to go to, or we wanted to go to edit.html. So let's check it out. Okay, that worked. So here we have a fully functional HTML and CSS. I guess not fully functional, I shouldn't say that. But in the later tutorials it will be fully functional for the backend stuff. So let's go through it. We click here, it leads us to this page. We can click edit, it leads us to the edit. The typing is nice looking. Now we can go and delete contact and confirm deletion, and then we just go back to all of the correct pages, and then if we do add, it leads us to this edit profile. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I also linked below my video on design tips and tricks from a graphic designer if you struggle with web design as a developer. So I will hopefully be making more tutorials for this channel, and we'll possibly see you guys again soon.